Hello and welcome. My name is Cliff Leiker. I'm the president of CJL Quantum Analytics. I'm excited about this opportunity to present some educational webinars for bank financial managers. My background is 30 years in banking. I spent 10 years as a bank regulator, learning about capital markets, about interest rate risk, about asset liability management, earnings trends, asset quality trends, and capital trends, etc. But my focus has always been on finance and accounting, in particular, asset liability management. I spent 10 years as a bank officer, internal audit, as a bank controller, and probably the highlight of my as a controller during the Great Recession, I was the chair of the internal ALCO committee for our bank, and we were a high-performance bank and the only bank in Nevada that made a profit, never dipped down below 1.25%. Well, anyway, I'm here to tell you about this exciting new project that I'm working on, and it's ultimately I want to develop a certification for a certified bank financial manager. It's going to address asset liability management, interest rate risk modeling, as well as financial modeling, earnings analysis, and bond portfolio management, as well as liquidity, funding source management, and also mergers and acquisitions. And so it'll be a combination of primarily finance and some accounting. So to get the ball rolling here, I'm going to have my first webinar, bank financial management webinar. It's going to be called Asset Liability Management, ALM Basics in the Current Rate Environment. And this is going to be published on, it'll be available for people to, participate in the webinar. It's a premium webinar. I'm charging $175 for a 1-hour presentation on asset liability management, and again, we'll address what's going on in the economy and the yield curve and the rate environment, etc., and how to manage the balance sheet accordingly. So this will be the first one will be May 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So for those of you in the other time zones, it's all based off of the Pacific time zone at 10 a.m. and you just do the math. The initial series webinars will be kind of from a basic to intermediate level presentation, and then once we get into the certification process, the material will be upgraded to say a graduate level course, and so it'll involve some of course mathematics, and so you learn this stuff, and then you'll learn. We'll do some calculations, and then you learn the material. Then you have to take a test, pass the test, and you do all this, and you meet all. There's about 7 subject matters, and you meet all that. Then you get certified as a bank financial manager, and it's going to be endorsed by my business, CJL Quantum Analytics. So I'm excited about that project, and I'm looking forward to transferring my knowledge as a bank regulator, as a bank officer, but also my 10 years as a bank consultant onto you. Give you real life examples in all these areas, and hopefully help you to help you do the fine-tune what you do now as a bank financial manager, or for those of you that aspire to be a bank financial manager, to learn how to do that work, that type of work. So I think you'll enjoy this material. I think you'll find it helpful, and I look forward to presenting it to you. Look on my Facebook page at CJL Quantum Analytics under Facebook. And then also have I'm also on LinkedIn, Cliff Leiker. On LinkedIn, I'll be developing some groups on LinkedIn and also on Facebook. So look for that as well, and I'll be talking more about that later. I will be sending out in the short term this coming week an invitation to join the webinar, and I developed I think it's been a year and a half now. I've developed a network of over 1,500 bankers across the country, and so now I'm going to use that network. I'm going to try to promote my life's work, and that's in bank financial management. So, and last but not least, I'm hoping at some point to write a book about this and put all this knowledge and experience to work. I've got some great stories about the savings and loan crisis. That's where I started as a bank examiner in the Midwest in Oklahoma, one of the hardest hit states. Also my work with, like I said, 2 separate regulators, and the adventures we went through and that work. I work in banking, mostly with community banks. That's who I've worked with. I did have some work with do some project work, contract work with some bigger banks, some of the top banks in the country. But I have a love for community banking because I think that's where I can make the most difference and have the biggest impact in helping community bankers help them to do their jobs better and hopefully squeeze out some extra basis points on the bottom line. So that's what it's all about, and make you guys look good. So that's where we're headed. And like I said, be on the lookout for my the emails I'll be sending out. Of the 1,500, I'm going to send about 500 out initially, 500 of the 1,500 network, and reach out to you and go from there. So stay tuned. Thank you.